You know that feeling when you're looking at a tool and thinking, this was clearly not built with me in mind. The voices in the audio outputs, they sound Western, the visuals in the videos look Western, even the way it frames stories assumes a Western audience. But you use it anyway because it's the best thing available. But something is always slightly off. Well, someone built something different for us. There's an AI tool built specifically for African journalists where the output, the content it draws from is ours. African voices, African news, African story. It's called Nubia and it was built by DataFight, a Nigerian data journalism organization. Now, if you've used Notebook LM, Google's research and audio tool, you already have a rough idea of what Nubia does. You upload your data, your documents, your raw materials, and it generates articles, infographics, mind maps, and videos from them. And because it was trained on African news content, the output actually reflects our context. Let me show you how it works.
So you go to your browser and type in nubia.ai. Click on get started with Nubia. Once you do that, you sign in and it will open you up to this. And so the first thing you need to do would be to upload. So for anyone who's conversant with Notebook LM, the left hand side of the screen is where you upload. The middle part is where you have a conversation with the AI tool, and the right side is where you can turn your report or article into other multimedia formats. So you click on upload, you upload the particular report you want to use, and so once it has uploaded, it will come somewhere here. So I'll open you up to what I had done previously. So this is the WHO malaria report. This is how it will be if it has uploaded. And so this is where I had a chat with it. I said, give me 3 story ideas as a health journalist in Nigeria. So it says it's for me to investigate national and regional trends in malaria incidents and death rates over the past 5 years. The second is for me to connect personal stories with data from the WHO report to make the statistics more relatable and urgent. The last would be to investigate Nigeria's role in piloting or adopting new malaria vaccines. So it even went further to say, would you like story leads or supporting statistics from the reports for any of these angles? So you can continue further by having a chat with it here, and then clicking, once you're done typing, you click on send. So assuming I've gotten my story ideas here, and I want to repurpose this, extract a particular section of this of an angle and create it into a podcast or an article or a video, I can always do that. So for the first one, we're going to explore articles. So we wanted to create an article from this WHO malaria report. So I click on article, I type the focus area. This is general, this is what you will find when you get there. So you can always remove it and change it depending on what you want, or leave it in that way. And the next thing is the language you want the output to be in. Is it in English? Do you want it in Hausa, in Igbo, or Yoruba, in French, the likes? So once I click on English, I click on start generation. Note that this is for free, and so let me show you an example of what it had created before. So this is what it's created, and note that you can even edit this particular article. I can change it, add my name. But please note that you don't have to be lazy because you're using this. I would rather that your organization supports that you should create articles on an AI tool than for you just going ahead. Ensure that your newsroom agrees that you can do this, but not going ahead to do, because I don't think this is just like an overview. This is not a complete full report or a full article or an investigative piece. So just so you know. Next would be infographics. So we want to create infographics from the malaria report. It has already given a general prompt. You can always tweak it and change the language and click on start generation. But let me show you what it was able to generate for me. This is actually in Hausa. I don't speak Hausa, but for Hausa folks, I believe you can see what it says. And another thing is that you can see that the data is plenty. That's because in the prompts where it's indicated what would you want me to focus on, I did not give specifics. I gave it was general. I left what DataFight provided. So if I want it to be specific, you have to write your own prompts to be specific. You can say only focus on statistics from West Africa, something like that. So it doesn't give you like a very general infographic. And then you click on download once you're done. So we move on to video. Once you click on video, the same way, it already has a general prompt. You can always remove it and change it to a prompt that you want. And then the language, if you want it in French, in Swahili, in Hausa, and then the voice, how do you want the voice to be? Is it Jude, is it Zainab, is it Umar? So you click on Umar or Zainab and click on start generation, and it creates it for you. Let me show you what it has created. But this was for Yoruba.
Malaria simple.
If the video is not your style, you can go ahead to use another AI tool to create. But if you like it, you can leave it the way it is and download it. So the next would also be another infographics, but created in English. So we saw the Hausa version earlier. This is the English version, and you click on download. Again, instead of having it like this, because it's a lot, you can tell it to narrow it down to West Africa, so that you have a more compact and specific infographics. So that's pretty much it. We can see that with Nubia, you can get story ideas, you can turn a report into an article. Again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a report here. It can also be your article as well in Word document uploaded here and turned into any of these formats. So the good thing is that it can be created or recreated into a local language that works. At the moment, the podcast feature is not working. Probably when you're trying it, it would work. But at the moment, the podcast feature is not working. But every other feature here, the video, the article, the visualization, infographics, and the mind map works very well.
Two things before you run with whatever it generates. Read every article it drafts word for word. AI still rewrites, simplifies, and sometimes gets facts wrong, even when it is trained on familiar data. Your byline is other story. Own it. And check every infographics and visual for accuracy, numbers, labels, context. Verify them against your original data before anything goes out. Try Nubia on your next data story and come back and tell me what you found.